Call the Tuesday, October 25th, 2022 meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Barb Tuesley,
Present.
Vanessa Merkel,
Present.
Lauren Fustek,
Present.
Dave Beasold,
Present.
and Mike Moffett.
Present. Number 4, the consent agenda. The approval of the Park Advisory Committee meeting minutes from Tuesday, September 27th meeting. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as posted.
So moved.
Dave Beasold with the motion. Do we have a second?
Barb Tuesley will second.
Tuesday with the second. All in favor of the minutes as posted, signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried 5-0. Number 5, new and old business. First one is possible disc golf course review.
I just, after listening to the last meeting, I went back and talked with the individual I've been going back and forth with about the two different locations, Heartland Park and Lake Hills Park. And so in your packet there, and sorry, start that over. So after listening to the last meeting, and I went back to the individual that I was speaking with, and went back and looked at Heartland Park and Lake Hills Park, and we kind of redefined the courses, basically. So in your packet, and what was emailed over to you guys as well, was just a more of a fine-tuned, redesigned course over at both sites. Heartland Park, we did eliminate the crossing over White Oak Avenue. So everything's just held within that park. And then Lake Hills, pretty similar to what it was before, just obviously just a little more fine-tuned. So also in there as well, I got some more exact pricing, just so everyone had an idea of exactly how much it would be, down from the concrete tee pads, the installation of the goal baskets, the actual the disc baskets itself, signage as well. In the packet too, you can kind of see all that stuff that you can take a look at. But basically, I know last meeting we all were in favor of it. So just kind of want to get one more look at either Heartland Park or Lake Hills, and just kind of get more of a consensus of which one would be better. I know we have a lot of issues at Heartland Park as far as parking and the hockey and the baseball and the softball, sand volleyball as well, and stuff like that. So Lake Hills is also a very nice option as well. Definitely is more of the passive recreation park. A lot more parking that wouldn't be necessarily designated for some of the athletic events that would go on in Heartland Park. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought, and if it was either Lake Hills or Heartland Park that was preferred after re-looking at it now for the third time.
I like the Lake in the Hills part. That's what I favor, Lake in the Hills.
Yeah.
I think the biggest hurdle was probably the crossing of the street at Heartland Park. I mean, in my mind, and I like the fact that Lake Hills is where it's at, but it's almost an you got to know that even is going on over there, because it's
Correct.
not well seen, obviously, from any major highway. Where Heartland Park, there's so much activity, the whole concept behind what you're trying to do here would be right there in front of them. They're like, oh, they got disc golf here.
Right.
Where on the other side of the coin, in Lake Hills, unless you're literally going to the auditorium there or the band shell or being part of something there or whatever, you may not even know it's there. Mm-hmm. Okay, even if we go out and promote it. So
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
crossing the street, I thought was the biggest hurdle at Heartland. And is it going to be tight? Yeah, but I mean, with your redesign, I certainly would favor the option to market it from a town standpoint. Would probably favor Heartland.
I would agree with that. My biggest hurdle was crossing over White Oak there, and now that that's been eliminated, for all the things that you just mentioned. I would lean more towards that, but I did have a question. Is there any site clearing that needs to happen? I notice these are in trees. I don't see that on the budget.
Yeah, no, because we walked the site a couple times and stuff. I mean, you could do some trimming, with Public Works and stuff on some of the trees, more so in between the Babe Ruth field and the softball fields, if we want. But besides regular grass cutting, and the grass cutters cut in these areas too and stuff like that too. So they are, maintained. But no, there wouldn't be any major clearing.
How much controversy are you going to get from the current facilities that there seems to be a lot of activity in that park?
I don't think too much. I mean, the biggest thing I think that we would have to do is I've talked about it before and stuff like that. Not here and stuff, but Heartland Park, and especially in these areas, it's been going on for a while. But there's a lot of parking cars that park on the path in the grass in between Babe Ruth and softball. We've been putting up some signs now. Now we have park rules now passed, so we have been putting on no motorized vehicles in parks in most of them now. We still got a few more to go and stuff like that. But that would be talking with the groups, just making sure, asking for their cooperation of all the players and the families not to park on the grass and stuff. And that's just maybe more of a culture change more than anything else, just to get used to it again.
I definitely favor the Heartland too. It's a lot more centralized work. You're kind of going out in all different directions.
And even I think with Heartland too, I think that would help not having the cars parked there too. Then they'll know, hey, there's something here now,
Right.
rather than just being open grass.
Are there any time restrictions on the disc golf, or can people just come out anytime and play it?
You could play at any time. No, there wouldn't be any restrictions.
Mike, could we start this as early as in the spring?
That would be my plan. That's what I would like to.
Okay. And how would we fund it?
My plan was to use some park improvement money that, with the passing of the budget, I know that's the budget's of the next council meeting and stuff like that,
Right.
but assuming everything goes as planned, I would use the park improvement budget with the park impact fees.
Okay.
Just one question on number 5. Is that encroaching on the neighboring property, or am I just?
No, that's ours.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, if it, you can see where the green grass is. I mean, that's where we cut.
I'm Paul, sorry.
That's where our grass cutters cut and stuff like that. So,
I just want to make sure we're not encroaching on the.
yeah, I mean, maybe even that, like looking at it up above. I mean, there is space there, but the idea is to throw it back into like the outfield area.
Right.
I mean, we could always push it up even a little bit, just so if one does go to the right.
I mean, it's not like there's a house there. So.
No, correct. No, yeah,
But,
correct.
I have a quick question as well, if it's okay. The concrete pads, because it's after it gets used for a bit, you may find a better layout. Are those movable, or there's an option for movable pads?
I could look into it. The way this was designed, they would have been permanent pads, basically. Other option would be, not to do concrete and do like a hardscaping type thing and stuff like that.
But that's going to require upkeep and maintenance.
But yes, correct.
Because keeping in mind as well is that we're going to do some type of community center. It's very possible it's going to be adjacent to this. Who knows? God knows. But maybe within a handful of years, you could do another 9 holes, and you might rethink of that. Within 5 years, you might rethink that. Although it's not a great cost, $6,300. But if there was some kind of equal to quality-wise option that was
Sure.
movable, if that exists.
Yeah, I'll look at it. I haven't looked too much into it, and the conversations we've had with the professional disc golfer have been. I asked him what was preferred and stuff, rather being that
Sure.
mulch, hardscaping type stuff in the concrete. he had mentioned the concrete just because obviously it was, you know, more level and more cleaner, stuff like that. But yeah, I can look into that, look into some options for that.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike, are you looking for a recommendation from us tonight for moving forward with this? Or?
Yeah, I just, a recommendation to move forward with it, and if Heartland's good, if that's one we prefer, then, you know, moving forward with recommendation, moving forward with the project at Heartland Park.
Take a minute.
Well, then I would like to make a motion to move forward with the disc golf at Heartland Park, pending budget finalization and allocated funds for such disc golf.
Lauren Sostak will second that.
Dave Beazold with the motion, Lauren with the second. All in favor, signify with an aye.
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 Opposed,
Yay. That's me. Sorry.
and it's carried
4-1.
4-1. Count my fingers. Next item on the agenda, Freedom Fest.
All right, so I know at the listening to the last meeting, you know, we talked a little bit about the Freedom Fest, and basically having the committee and stuff all involved with it. So the idea basically was, I was going to just add this as an agenda item, kind of every meeting to kind of give updates, because in the sort of the planning of all this and stuff starts, you know, now and stuff with it all. So what I did here in the memo that was sent to you was just, I listed basically everything that was done last year. I think at last meeting, we all agreed on the July 3rd date for that Monday. I've been using that 3 to 10 time slot. However, I don't know if I was just double checking too if that was changing or whatnot. But in here I have everything from tent, fireworks, bounce houses, sponsor letters, a flyer, logo, and I'll kind of just go through it one at a time, and then stop me with any questions or whatnot that you would have here. But the first thing I have here with the tent, we had used Marquee Tent Rentals last year. We had a smaller tent as far as 30 by 120 by 8 tent rental. And I know from being at the event, there were some concerns with some people that saying it was slightly cramped at times and stuff when there was more people in there. So I had asked the same company, Marquee Tent Rentals, for a little bigger tent. So in your packet there, you'll see a price for a 40 by a 140 by 8 tent. They also have some bigger size tents as well, but that would be the next size up, what they would have.
To be honest with you, Mike, I think our biggest challenge that first year was we, with the help of Public Works, snow fenced around it all. So even that little bit of outdoor area that we had, which would have been to the south of the tent, where there were picnic tables and people could eat, we basically kind of squished everybody, not knowing the people
Yeah,
that we,
right.
and I think a redesign of that could expand some of that actual area there to make it more accessible to
More people and stuff.
more people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the tent itself, I thought with the separate tent for the band and all that was more than adequate enough as far as the, you know, the operations of it. We were, you know, like I say, we were kind of forced with Malt Brothers and Welch's to almost put them in the walking in spot, which kind of created a little bit of a traffic flow problem where if there was more room to one side or the other, we could have possibly worked that a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
No, right. No, I got you. Well, and that's fine. I mean, obviously the 30 by 120 is would be a lot less expensive too, stuff, tent wise and stuff. But yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I would
'Cause-
presume, though, it's going to be bigger this year. Next year, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah, the plan, yeah, but I think if we, as Dave said, we work a little bit on the outside, should allow for more people to come in. I mean, yeah, because Malt Brothers, since they can go anywhere.
Correct.
They don't
And they
have
have
to
their
go.
own tents,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
mean,
correct, yeah.
we could, we possibly could have moved them to
Yeah.
that same area as the picnic table, because we have to warden it off where they're actually selling beer so that we can control that whole scenario. And we were kind of forced to do it underneath the tent based on how we designed it. And I mean, I'm not so sure that, in hindsight, that our layout was
Yeah,
as good as it could have been.
the alcohol will have to be snow
Sectioned
fenced
off.
in
Correct.
somehow.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't have to be underneath the tent.
No, yes, correct.
Okay, we chose it
Yeah.
based on how we set it up, that's basically how it fell.
One option about the bigger tent is you have a lot more shade.
Yeah.
I know that was an issue last year. There wasn't a lot of area for shade. And I know with taking some of that stuff out there would make more room.
Absolutely.
I like the idea with the bigger tent because then, a lot of people seem like they're trying to hide by the buildings wherever they could to get the shade right. Me personally, I think that bigger tent would give you a lot more area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's-
Make sure Malt Brothers can get more beer, because they kept running out of beer.
Yeah.
But they kept up.
Yeah, they did.
They kept bringing more.
They did all right. They did all right.
They
did a
know
good
bet-
job.
They know better this time.
I'm in favor of the bigger one.
Okay. Well, I'm still going back and forth with the tent company and stuff. I wanted to get something on hold, basically, so we don't, lose out on anything and whatnot.
Yeah, one of the other things, I know that we talked about the fireworks, and I would like to see exactly what kind of fireworks show that they're talking about doing, instead of just saying, well, I'm gonna do a fireworks show. I wanna know what they're gonna be displaying, how long it's gonna be. And then I would like to get maybe some other pricing. I know that we've used the Mad Bomber this last time, but I know there's another company that would be interested in submitting a bid on this, and I think it would be in the town's best interest to, explore that as an option, to see exactly what we're getting for our money. They can give you a whole show listing of this is what you're gonna get, here's the colors, they're gonna, fire them off electronically.
Yeah.
They didn't do that last time, so it just might be as well to get a proper quote. I mean, just for, it's early enough to where we can, maybe leverage a little bit of competitive pricing, but you're talking 4th of July, so you're gonna pay for that. If you were talking the, 6th of July, maybe it's a little cheaper.
Right.
But then you're running into St. John Parish Festival that they're having, so, because they're having it that weekend right after.
Right after, yeah.
So, because I was like, well, we can't move it that way.
Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. I'll get some of the more info. I did send it, the agreement, what they had so far, just so you guys had it. I did send it off to you, but I'll ask them for more info.
And I did have a conversation with Father Maletta about, consolidating the two things, and I said, that's not gonna work out so much, because we'll be blowing up fireworks by the church. He's like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea, so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'll get more info, I'll get more information with the fireworks stuff. Tent wise though, still go back and forth from, I'll go with the 30 by 120 and the 40 by 140 for now, just to, still play around with the layout a little bit and stuff. Other things that they did last year, was the bounce houses, which, I think that's something easy that we, should keep
And
again.
it was well received.
Oh yeah, kids, those bounce houses, they pop up and kids just come out of nowhere
So
with
were
those
the food
things.
trucks, those went over really well.
Yeah. In there too is a sponsor letter. So I used the sponsor letter from last year, made changes to dates, and I was going to add the Freedom Fest logo. The Parks logo's on here, but that's because I didn't have the Freedom Fest logo. So,
Nice job, by the way, on that.
the what?
Looks nice.
On this thing.
Oh, I didn't do that. The
Who did it?
R&B
Oh, okay.
printing. I asked her to give me a proof of it and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
nice job. It looks
So-
We don't need to pay, we do not need to
Could've just
pay
said
for this.
thanks.
We do not need to pay for that.
The sponsorship letter, I was gonna ask you, take a look at it and see if there's something that we want to add to it or change to it. This has the different levels from the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze levels. So then the flyer and the logo on there, again, I had that was a proof that I had asked to be made. So take a look at that. I don't know if there's anything in particular we wanted it to change or whatnot, but otherwise I was going to go in this direction basically with that. As far as like food and drink, I did confirm with Malt Brothers that they would be there again. They're also going to be around for our summer concert series as well, and some of our movie series that we're planning as well. So we'll be around a lot next summer. Food trucks that we just mentioned, that was something that was pretty popular. I haven't reached out to any of them yet, but
Those went over really
yeah.
well.
Oh yeah.
I think they were all running out of food and drink. Yeah, it was a big hit.
Yeah, it was a warm day. I know like the Kona Ice people did well too and stuff. So I was going to add that. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up, and we can think about it for a little bit, but everything I brought up before was stuff that was this past year, which we thought worked well and was good. So we could continue most of it. But if there's any other activities that we would like to add to it, to make it to a staple, for future years. Suggestions I had in there, it could be something larger as far as like a run, some kind of fun run or something like that. Smaller things to some kind of non-athletic tournaments type things, cornhole, stuff like that. But so I was just throwing out there if you could think about it and stuff like that. I had some ideas in my office I was throwing around and stuff, but if you feel free to give me any recommendations.
Two things that was my overview is we worked in hand with Midwest Ice Arena, and they had like an open skate, open gymnasium, or open gymnastics day that you could be. We did not promote that very well, and I think that if we're going to at least inquire with them, because they also provided pizza.
Oh yeah.
Through Pascal's, and we did not, in my opinion, market that as well as we possibly could have. We need to, if they're on board, I think we need to engage them in such a way, maybe, and we had talked about this at Economic Development, about face painting and some other kid type activities, whether you guess how many Smarties are in a jar, or some sort of a couple of games that we could engage the
some like
family
smaller things and stuff,
and push them towards Midwest a little bit and help them utilize their facility, because they were accommodating to open it up, and it was there. I can't honestly tell you how many people took advantage of that, because I think a lot of it was really not known. So and they what they had did is they had put a flat fee. If you wanted to skate for a few hours, you could have had open skating for a few bucks, or if you wanted to work on the gymnastics things and some of the apparatus there. And at the same time, like I said, of all the things that I could say was a negative, that was the one thing that we did not promote well enough, because being on the other side of the parking lot, we just didn't get the people that direction. And and they were more than willing to be a part of this, and I think if that's moving forward, we need to at least engage how we can better do that.
Sure.
And the only other thing I can tell you from a sponsorship standpoint, there was two ladies on economic development, Kelly and Emily, who had a whole list of all businesses here in St. John, and contacts and numbers and opportunities to engage them as far as sponsorship. The timing and the 11th hour of a lot of that is where we fell short, because it was dropped in our lap kind of late in the game. But that list is there. They're willing to help in that respect. At our last economic development meeting, we had conversation to such. So I'm sure that they would be engaging into helping us move that in a positive direction.
I think that'd be good.
Do we ever interface with the chamber, who has obviously all the businessmen, I would imagine 80% of
we have contacts in the chamber. that being said, it is a Dyer/St. John Chamber of Commerce, and there's probably room to engage with, the St. John part of it, as opposed to, getting Dyer involved in something that they may or may not. I mean, they have their own thing going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got most of the names from the Chamber of Commerce as far as independent businesses and stuff like that. And I have it here somewhere. It's 4 or 5 pages. I mean, there's a lot of businesses in this town that are potential sponsors. And just getting the word out is and that's why advertising it early, obviously, putting it on our webpage at Parks, putting it on our webpage of the town, all these are instrumental in getting the word out. Because I think we could be a self-sufficient. I think Mike would agree. I think we could, with the right marketing, we could be a self-sufficient.
I totally agree.
Event.
Oh, yeah.
Totally agree with that, yeah.
Does St. John allow stuff to be put into the water bills?
We did last year.
Yes, we did.
We did that.
That's how we promoted it last year through the June, or maybe it was the May. It might have been the May water bill, because it comes out, you pay retroactive, so it comes out like the 3rd week of the month.
Yes.
And so I think we actually used May as a way to buffer.
I think that's right.
Bills.
In addition to that, I think that within the budget, within the town council's budget, it also is, I think, improvement in communication with the town and others. So I think we're actually gonna add some communication, either, partial staff, or we're gonna go out and, and buy some communication ability and do a better job. So this would be probably one of those that we can market better and let the town know what's going on and just, communicate better. So that, I think that'll be an additional tool for this as well.
Yeah, and going back to the Midwest stuff, I think that would be big. I mean, because there's a lot there.
Right.
The gymnastics and all that stuff.
They have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And like I say, if we fell short of anything, we fell short in promoting them and
Yeah.
what they were offering.
Maybe they need to offer something in a competition type of thing where people would want to go and, in their facility.
I believe
to-
they're open to that. I really do. It's just that by the time we got a commitment from them and tried to work out some sort of, what should we do and how should we do it, it was pretty much, because she had to staff it. She had to bring her people in to run it. She had to run, the pizza, this is all basically on her dime. And she did everything we asked her to do. And we probably failed her in the sense that we didn't promote it as much as we probably could have and helped her recoup some of her overhead.
One other thought for maybe an activity for the Freedom Fest. I remember in my last town when they would do an intergovernmental cornhole contest. So you'd have the Public Works, Fire Department. Fire Department always killed everybody. So, Public Works, the Police Department, and even the school boards, LC, Hanover, and also Parks Department, and that also got people to the fest. And it kind of made it nice because a lot of people don't know each other, right? So you get there and it kind of gets people to know each other on a friendly basis. So kind of and then, we can all become second fiddle to the fire department for sure. That's going to happen, but it's kind of fun.
Okay. All right, well, cool. Yeah, anything else? I mean, I have a few things I was going to email out in the next couple of weeks too and stuff that I'm just going to throw out there and stuff too. So, but if you think of anything else, let me know. All right.
Is that it?
That's all I have, yeah.
Freedom
Unless
Fest.
unless anybody else has anything else, but that's all I got.
Next item on the agenda, miscellaneous items. Miscellaneous items?
Yeah, so for this, I just kind of a rundown of just some stuff, projects that have been going on within the parks and the town and stuff. So Founders Park, I don't know if you've been over there lately, but it's pretty much wrapped up with all that out there. So we have some punch list items that we went through already. A few things are done. There's still some concrete pads still got to get poured out there. Some benches got to be installed. But Majority of everything has been taken care of out there, and it does, I think it looks nice, looks very nice. As now we're at the end of that. So we did have the IDNR come out as well, the land water grant. They reviewed it. They were okay with everything. They had suggestion, well, requests to do with it, what we're going to do. We're going to do it and stuff like that. But over by the bridge, they recommended having some wall wings being put out on the bridge, just so no one would fall into the little stream of water that's out there and the tall grass and stuff like that. So,
Are you getting pricing on that, by the way?
yes. I don't have any right now. I don't have any, but I'm planning on getting that. Over at Larimer Park, the pavilion was painted this last Friday, the 14th. I submitted a request to the town council office, town manager's office for some bird netting to be put under the ceiling of the pavilion. But the painting looks good, almost looks like a brand new pavilion out there. Over at Gates Park, obviously the skate park is done, but we put in a restroom enclosure out there that was for, the restroom is gone, all the restrooms are gone now for the year, but part of that park inventory that I sent out a few months ago as well. I was going to start doing some enclosures, and the Gates was one of them. So just kind of hide the portable restroom. The plan is to go to each park one at a time, basically. Homestead Acres was the next one I was planning on lining up next. Over at Hyde Park, there's working on 13. There's a string of 13 bushes that were dead, so I'm just working on getting those removed and replanted. The ice skating rink for Civic Park, which we talked about at the last meeting. I did submit a request to purchase that over to the town manager's office. Park impact fee study and the needs assessment study, we are planning on sending that out November 3rd. I just wasn't sure exactly how we wanted to advertise it out. That's all. That was my last question on that. But everything else, those two should be ready to go after that. And that's basically the last thing I had with some updates on some of the parks.
I had a question on the skate park.
Yeah.
Look, the last one we were out there with that day that opened up, looked like some like the benches and stuff, that like the blue paint where the metal is. There were some scrapes and stuff through the installation when they installed it, everything. Is there a way they could come back and just touch that up, or is that gonna be on us? You can actually see it's already starting to rust. Yes.
Yeah. I think some of that too is the skaters too, I think.
Oh, yeah,
as well.
the skaters are grinding on all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's for. I mean,
I'm saying the actual benches, like the backside where they don't skate. You can see where it looks like during the install, or maybe you can see like gouges in the paint. Cause it looked like a rubberized paint or something, but you can see where it's starting to rust. And I know that's something they can touch up.
yeah, I believe we do have touch-up paint.
Touch-up paint,
So,
yeah.
So we can do it.
Yeah,
So we
that's
can-
something that our crews will be regularly doing on those. But yeah, it's meant to be used. I'll just leave it at that.
Is that it for miscellaneous items?
Yeah, I'm gonna just make sure I didn't miss anything else. Yeah, that's the last thing I had.
Number 6, reports and correspondence. Town manager?
Yeah, like Mike said, the RFQs are going to be going out for the park impact fee and for the needs assessment. I think we already had kind of gone over all of that, so we're definitely going to be getting those out sooner rather than later. I think we're going to put them out at the same time. There's no reason why we can't. One kind of leads into the other, but all in all, if we do decide to go with one or the other, I'd like to obviously have them come and have that discussion with us and bring their credentials, and then we can kind of vet those individual groups, whoever they might be. I mean, if we get 2, then it's 2, and you guys can make a recommendation as to which one you would like to see, because obviously we want someone that we're going to be able to work with on an ongoing basis as well. So I believe last time it was it Arsh
Yes.
that did the park impact fee assessment last time?
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously, they might be one that would submit a proposal, so we'll see how all that goes, and we'll see where things go with that. But that's all I have right now.
The next one, town council liaison, please.
So I'd like to add on to that as well, just to be mindful that in terms of the park impact fee, that building is slowing. So permits are gonna be slowing, so that the income, that we get, the revenue that we get from that fee, just to be cautious, in this coming year. I'd ask you to just keep that in mind. The other idea or thought I had is I love the idea of the concert series in the summer, just to consider maybe, if possible, moving some of those to Friday night and from Thursday to Friday night. Just to consider whatever you think is best.
Thursdays are better, because a lot of people like to do Thursday, because Friday night they go out, but it's just kind of like a little interlude before the Friday event. Because I know a lot of places like, different homeowners associations and stuff like that have those kind of things on a Thursday night. So just something, that I've seen out there.
I've seen a mix as well,
Yeah.
so just give us some thought.
Friday night would be better for me, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm
gotta
thinking
work
like
the next
what
day.
I'm thinking is a lot of St. John is obviously we have a tremendous amount of working families, right? So Thursday, we're getting older and we're they're busy.
Carries into
So-
Friday.
So right, everybody's trying to get in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock. We're losers, right? So anyway, just a thought. So and also I really want to thank
We could have some on Thursday and some on
the
Friday.
commission. I love the ideas of multiple bids and looking into the numbers and getting as much bang for the buck for the taxpayer. So I just want to thank you guys for that.
Any of the committee members have anything? Dave, anything?
The only thing I've got is, we had talked about the ice skating rink last time, and we had kind of moved that forward.
Yeah.
As far as, continuing that conversation. Is that something that we want to, obviously, it's October. We won't meet again until November. Is this something that we want to try to get in for 2023? To get it over the winter?
Yes.
I believe the RTP is
I
before
did,
the
I submitted
council
it
tomorrow.
for, yeah. Based off the last meeting, I submitted request to purchase to the
Okay,
town manager office.
so we are gonna move.
now.
Do you need a motion from us? Do you want a motion from us? All we basically did was basically said we're gonna keep moving forward, because you weren't
Yeah.
here at the time.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to, more of a recommendation, stuff like how you did last meeting, just saying, let's do it. We're all in favor of it.
Right.
Let's do it
I mean,
and
it's
stuff.
not a bad idea to, give a favorable recommendation.
that idea,
toward
the favorable
to the town council.
recommendation
That way,
from the-
at
Yeah.
least I can let them know that, the
Well, yeah, that way, because I'll write.
Recreation
yeah.
Committee had made the favorable
Because
recommendation.
usually when I do I've been trying to do now when I do the request to purchase is write Joe a memo basically saying, here's a request to purchase, and not just saying, here's, please sign off on it, but saying, the advisory board.
But please.
But please sign it. But the advisory board looked at it or they were in favor based off the information of the, previous meeting and stuff, so. But again, the plan for that though, since, just if I can just mention it real quick, but my plan with that was obviously purchase it. It would go up in December, probably like middle of December before Christmas. Historically, we usually don't get frozen weather until January now, in the last few years and stuff. So it would, tennis court would go down, tennis net would go down. And then it would go up there before Christmas and just kind of sit for a while until we get the freezing weather. The 2022, and I have done this before and stuff like that, but like, for example, in 2022, I just know it's off the top of my head, but January 8th was the first day we had frozen weather. So I think it was January 10th by the time the rink was we were able to skate outside, basically.
And then it was like that till May 1st.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, we had talked a little bit amongst ourselves too about, your rules and regulations.
Yeah.
And, how we wanted
Yeah.
to move forward with that. And, if we are gonna move forward, then these are some conversations that we need to have, because obviously our window is shrinking.
Yeah, so I was requested purchase. I was going to wait till the request was okayed, assuming it was going to be okayed, and then in November I was going to work on the rules and regulations basically to bring them here, and then to take a look at, and then, we could modify, subtract, add, as needed. My initial thought, though, 'cause I think, I know, again, not being here at the last meeting, and somebody brought up hockey, but my initial thought was hockey, in a sense, wouldn't be allowed. It's basically, right now, would just be for ice skating. If you want to do hockey, you would need a second rink, basically, one that's more dedicated. Now, they're still going to bring, if they're by themselves, they're still going to bring them, and that's okay, if they're by themselves and stuff. But the idea is for people to use it, and
Well, could we designate time for that?
well, yes, you can do that too. Yeah.
You know, I mean, because I think at the end of the day, you're going to have, because our local hockey league here is getting bigger and bigger between, the high school participation and stuff like that. So to at least allow some of the youth to have I don't care if it's a 1 hour window twice a week or what, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I grew up playing rat hockey. I mean, that was just, you pick sides, you threw a couple goals on there, and you just, whether there was a pond or whatever, I mean, that's just how it was. So I see that as a positive thing as far as bringing the kids out.
Yeah, oh, I agree. No, I agree, 100%. So I'll wait till the meeting. Tomorrow is the meeting, and then I'll email some of the rules and regulations, and I'll take a look at it, and then add, subtract.
All right, well, then I would like to propose a motion to continue the conversation with a positive recommendation for the ice skating park or ice skating rink at Civic Park pending monetary approval and rules and regulations.
I have a motion by Dave Beasold. Do we have a second?
Barbara Tuesley, I will second that motion.
Barbara the second. All in favor, signify with an aye.
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 Opposed? 5-0. That passes. Anything else, Dave?
Nope, that's all I had.
Barb, do you have anything?
No.
Vanessa?
No.
Lauren?
Just going back to the concert series that you had mentioned, I know it was kind of on the last meeting, it went hand in hand with the movies in the park. And the location was possibly going to be Lake Hills for both of them. And Lake Hills is more conducive to the concert series, so I would just, as we continue talking about it, I do want to keep, just make sure we're looking at the
Other
other
places and stuff.
park
Yeah.
on 93rd, and possibly maybe that's where the movies are, so it's not so exclusive to Lake Hills for all of the events.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Prairie West would be fine because it has the electric there. Lake Hills is nice because it has the electric there, and it has the concrete that's there. It's just cleaner. That's all stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think the Gates Park would be a nice one, but there's not much electric out there right now and stuff. But well, I'm going to tell the pavilion, all that stuff. But yeah, some of the pavilions I know we have electric at too. So yeah, we can move them around. It doesn't. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Next item, public comment. I don't have anything that anybody gave us. Any and all, anybody else have anything for the good of the order? Next will be adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Barb Tuesley, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Barb with the motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Lauren Sestick will second it.
Lauren with the second. All in favor to adjourn, signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried 5-0.
I'd like to ask a question off the record. So